Congressman, in an exercise that students will complete as part of this MOOC, I will ask them to answer these questions. Who are the other characters in your story? Characters like your mother, father, siblings, relatives, teachers, friends. What roles do they play in your story? Are they friendly or unfriendly, helpful or hurtful? How are they alike and how are they different? How did they contribute to your sense of calling? How would you respond to these questions?
And we would visit the little town of Troy, visit Montgomery, visit Tuskegee. I saw those signs that said white men, colored men, white women, colored women. I come home and ask my mother, my father, my grandparents, my great-grandparents why. They would say, that's the way it is. Don't get in the way. Don't get in trouble. But in 1955, 15 years old, in the 10th grade, I heard of Rosa Parks. Heard the words of Martin Luther King Jr. on old radio. The action of Rosa Parks, the words and leadership of Martin Luther King Jr. inspired me. We were too poor to have a subscription to the local newspaper, but my grandfather had one. And each day when he would finish reading his newspaper, we would get that newspaper and read it. So it told me the story of the Montgomery Boys boycott. And I wanted to meet Dr. King. I wanted to meet Rosa Parks. When I finished high school in 57 rather, at the age of 17, I applied to go to a little school called Troy State College. It is now known as Troy University. Submitted my application, my high school transcript, and never heard a word from the college. So I wrote a letter to Dr. King. I didn't tell my mother, my father, any of my brothers or sisters, any of my teachers. Dr. King wrote me back, sent me a round-trip Greyhound bus ticket, and invited me to come to Montgomery to meet with him. In the meantime, I'd been accepted at a little college in Nashville, Tennessee, called American Baptist Theological Seminary, known today as American Baptist College. So I went off to work there, to study. Worked in the kitchen, washing pots and pans. Later, I worked as a janitor to pay my way through school. And one day, I told one of my teachers, a young minister by the name of Kelly Miller Smith, he was a graduate of Morehouse College and Howard University. He was from Mount Bayou, Mississippi. I told him that I had been in contact with Dr. King. So he informed Dr. King that I was in school in Nashville. So Martin Luther King Jr. got back in touch with me and suggested when I was home for spring break to come and see him. And I would never forget it. March 1958. By this time, I'm 18 years old. I boarded a Greyhound bus, traveled to Montgomery, and a young lawyer by the name of Fred Gray, who had been the lawyer for Rosa Parks, for Dr. King, and the Montgomery movement, and became our lawyer during the Freedom Rides and during the march from Selma to Montgomery, met me at the Greyhound bus station, and drove me to the First Baptist Church, passed by the Reverend Ralph Abernathy, a colleague of Dr. King, and ushered me into the pastor's study. And I saw Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Reverend Ralph Abernathy standing behind the desk. I was so scared. I didn't know what to say or what to do. And Dr. King said, "Are you the boy from Troy? Are you John Lewis?" And I said, "Dr. King, I am John Robert Lewis." I gave my whole name. And he started calling me the boy from Troy. I was so deeply moved and inspired by this man.